What is engineering's role in enterprise collaboration? Let's talk about that next. There's no doubt about it. Development has changed. You can no longer really develop a product just taking form, fit, and function into account. There are many other factors that need to be considered. There are many other organizations and people in the development process that have to create a lot of other deliverables to enable different activities in the development process. So the question becomes, in this modern digital age, how do you enable the fulfillment of those different requirements that span the enterprise? And specifically, what we're going to look at now is what role do engineers play in that process as an enabler? So let's take a look at how engineers work with others in the enterprise in terms of developing products. So specifically using an email-based process. So engineers will start by developing their designs. And there are many others in the company that need to develop their own content and all sorts of different functional departments. The engineer will share out their design via email to all the people, whether they're internal or external stakeholders. And they'll start to do their work using that design. And again, remember, a lot of these deliverables that are being created are derived from the product design. Now, of course, things don't change the same. The engineer will obviously explore other options, new alternatives, and send that out via email again. And unfortunately, those updates aren't always received. Sometimes they can be buried in an email inbox. Sometimes they're accidentally deleted. Sometimes they're forgotten, right? So suddenly you have different people across the organization that are working against the latest version, and some that are not. And that results in some problems, right? That's when you have an issue, you're working against the wrong data, you have a change order, or a problem report from a customer, or maybe rejected components and products from a client. Maybe things can't be serviced the right way. So obviously, this is a problem, right? People can work against out-of-date information, especially if you're looking at a complex supply chain with lots of external participants and stakeholders. And that manifests in lots of different ways. It manifests in hard costs in terms of scrap and waste on the shop floor. But just as importantly, it results in delays in the development process. And everybody is highly pressured to hit their deadlines. Now, is this a real problem? Yeah. Is it a widespread problem? Yeah. Our research has showed that people still use email a lot today in terms of collaboration, in terms of sharing designs and data with internal and external people. So it's a problem. But there is a different way to work. So a different approach relies on a cloud-based solution. Engineer starts doing their work and the design exists in the cloud and you access it through a browser or a connected application. All the other participants involved in the development process don't get a file. They go directly to that cloud platform, they connect, they base their work off of the design that exists there, and they create their derived deliverables. Now, of course, change still happens in this instance. When the design changes, because everything is living in the same place, you have a single source of truth, all the other deliverables that people are working on update as well. You have that associativity. There's no confusion about, am I working against the latest version? That is always the case. That's the nature of working on a cloud-based solution that is always connected and where the latest version lives in the same environment that everybody else is using. All right, so what are the implications here with using this different approach that's based on a cloud platform? They're actually pretty large. It actually minimizes the risk of people working off different versions of the design and all the derived deliverables. So you eliminate those extra costs, you eliminate the delays, right? And there's a big impact for the company and the overall development process, and that's great. But what is also important is that this doesn't rely on an engineer doing more work. This happens, right? Everybody looks at the most recent version. The cloud platform tracks it automatically. It's not like an engineer has to push a button. So it eliminates some of the risk there as well in terms of manually managing iterations. It actually lowers the kind of load on the engineer in terms of their effort to keep everybody up to speed and on the latest version. And there's an implication here, engineers, I've talked about this before, they're the collaborative hub of development. Everybody kind of interfaces with them in terms of this is the design definition, and you need to take other things into account. A cloud platform really does enable that new modern approach, and it does it with a lower grade of effort on that engineer. So this is a significant step forward. This is a significant piece of progress for the process, and it makes a difference. That's it. Take care and talk soon.